I'm saying that because countries which have a heavy dosage of ethnic diversity, ethnic cleavage, and divisions should not, as a rule, embrace majoritarian systems of government at all. This is because mobilization of votes, whether you like it or not, tends to be geographic. By the way, geography is another definition of ethnicity. I'm a northerner, I'm an easterner, I'm a western Kenyan, I'm a central Kenyan, I'm a Mount Kenyan, or whatever. That's geography. But that too, within the confines of anthropology and sociology, are ethnic identities. And it's this, that for countries like this, and I count Kenya here, as well as Cote d'Ivoire, DRC, all of us who are going into elections in the coming 12 months, is wrong. To the contrary, we should be going for not majoritarian systems, particularly at presidential level, rather for parliamentary democracy, which was proposed here and turned down. As elite consensus, because elites represent different segments of the country. Parliamentary government, elite consensus, proportional representation, preferably on party lists, and grand coalition government of all time, by placing a very high threshold of percentage of votes which to form a government you require. Because then you reach out to minorities and to losers who would otherwise be low. I know in Europe, the countries you think of are France and Britain when you think of democracy, or Germany. I think more of Switzerland and the Netherlands or Austria when I think of democracy, i.e. structures, including electoral systems, which suit us best. In the developing world, I think more of India, which, despite all its problems, has managed half a century of democratic rule, but very much removing any majoritarian, fast past the post zero-sum kind of connotations in electoral system. A federalist structure, which is there, a devolution system in Kenya, which is a very good aspect of the constitution. South Africa, just look at South Africa after 1994. If South Africa had accepted this majoritarian system with runoff that you had in Kenya, you would have had violence in 1994, I can guarantee you. Because ANC would have taken everything, including the entire cabinet. But all good things that are human artifacts also leave some work to desire and reform tomorrow. And I hope Kenyans and you in the press will help us move ahead. Thank you very much.
We didn't feel pessimistic about the future of this continent. And the finding of the last African Governance Report was that Africa made progress from 2005, when the first report was released, to 2009, when the second report was released. And the progress was only marginal. Of course, there are several challenges that the continent is faced with. So I quite share your view that we should not move from the standpoint of an Afro-pessimism, but rather one of Afro-optimism. But we must also be critical of where we are, because if we're not critical, it will be very difficult for us to chart the future. Being critical and reflective defines the nature of the future for us, and I think that's quite important.